So I am going to go ahead and record. And we are going to get started. A lot of this is actually going to be in PowerPoint today. I may kind of get to doing something, like live showing you, but we'll do that as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is what SEO actually is. And SEO stands for search engine optimization. And what that means is that people, Google or your search engines, are looking for the quantity and the quality of traffic to your website. So by looking at the quantity and quality, they actually rank your site. So when someone puts in an organic search, which is any search, organic search is a search like a query that says, say, Pleasant Hill Realtor or Walnut Creek Realtor or Santa Rosa Realtor. Depending on how you rank, whether or not Google is going to recommend your website as part of the SERP, which is the search engine results page, that you best meet the needs of this query. So having said that, let's continue on. So I put together a little dictionary. Now I'm not going to go through all this. I think the most important things, and I can give you guys a copy of this. This PowerPoint is short as it is. It's not going to be all encompassing. But if you want this to refer back to, I will send this out as well. So the query, we know a query is words just typed into a search bar. A local query is where you actually put in something like a coffee shop near me, or Walnut Creek Realtor near me, or Pleasant Hill Realtor near me. So local queries are a whole different thing that we're going to talk about on another day, because there are local citations that we can do that increase the near me local query optimization. But we're not going to explore that today, but we can get into that another time. We already know what SEO stands for, and SERP is a common one that you see, which is search engine results page. So when you type in Pleasant Hill Realtor, everything that shows up on that page is called your results page. Google My Business is a listing through Google that is free to local businesses, just like Bing for Business Places is also another free listing that feeds into Safari. And you can actually link them all together and have them sync to your Google My Business. So when you post something on Google My Business, or you make a change to your hours, or change your phone number, or anything on your Google My Business listing, or add photos, it updates Bing and it updates Safari at the same time, which is really cool. Ranking is the order that Google decides the relevance to your query, or to the query that the consumer is putting in. How relevant is your website to those queries? That's where it looks at keywords. So if someone is putting in Pleasant Hill Realtor, and that is one of your keywords that you use throughout your online presence across the internet, then Google or Bing or Safari is got a ranking on you, so that when that query comes up, they're going to say, oh, they're number 20 on the list, or they're number 15 on the list, or they're number 1 on the list, or they may be number 300 on the list. So getting ranked is very important. And then indexing and crawling is all about the search engines actually crawling your website, looking through every page, and then indexing and storing the content found on each page, so that it can access that index really quickly when someone does some kind of organic search. And organic searches are a search that when you come up and you haven't paid for an advertisement. So it's any kind of ranking or search results that are not paid advertisements. The people also ask boxes. We can talk more about those. I think we've talked about those a lot in blogging. Oh, looks like I have the same words on here. Backlinks, internal links, and external links. Let's talk about those. Internal links are any link that you put on your website that points to another page on your website. So if I've built your website, you know it's got a lot of internal links. External links are any link, hyperlink on your website that points to another website. Backlinks are important, and that's kind of like where you have to kind of organize it with somebody else. Like on my website, if you write a review and I put you on what my customers say, and I put a link to your website, that is a backlink. So it's someone else putting a link on their website to your website. That's called a backlink or inbound links. Those are really nice to have. We don't build those out for you or help you with those, but it's really nice to have those, and Google loves those. So if you ever need help with backlink or understanding what they are, just reach out to me. So here we're going to talk a little bit about the URL, the slug, the meta title, meta description. You hear a lot about those things from me when I'm building your website. On the backside of your website, we have what's called SEO. So every page has a title, a description, and the website creates a slug, which is the URL link to the page or subpage as shown in the SERP. So we're going to look at those real quick. So in Bing, so I did a search this morning on Pleasant Hill Realtor, and Laura Boucher came up on page 1 in Bing, and you can see that this is the meta title. You can see where the meta description is and where the slug is. Now, if you look right below it, Google has done something new. Again, this just changed. It may have just changed overnight, where you see what their search result looks like and what's missing in this, the slug. Okay, so it's no longer showing the slug. But see these 3 little dots? If you click on that, and you can see about this result, and this is a beta version of their new SERP. So it shows you the slug in the description. This is a pop-up. When you click on those 3 little dots, this window pops up to give you about this result. So you can also see privacy settings, how search works, cached. You can also give feedback on this info. So this is all really new, and it is still a beta version. Whether or not Google will go back to the way Bing displays it with the slug on the page or in the paragraph, or whether they continue with the search result pop-up, I don't know, but right now that's the way it looks on the website. Any question about meta titles, meta descriptions, slugs? Because this is really important. This is your title, this is your slug, and this is the excerpt that goes in there. And a lot of times, if you don't put one in your meta description in on the back end of your page, they'll do that for you, and it may not have everything that you want in there. But notice, because my search was for Pleasant Hill Realtor, everywhere that Pleasant Hill Realtor or Pleasant Hill Real Estate Agent shows up, it's bolded. So it shows, it will bold the part that is in the search. Any questions on this part? So what goes into SEO? We've already talked about quality and quantity, that's the biggest thing that they look for. So quality of traffic. You can attract a lot of visitors, but if they're coming to your site and bouncing, what we call bouncing, it's not going to be quality traffic, okay? But if you attract visitors to your site and you've got engaging content so they don't just bounce or leave without taking any action on your website, then it increases your quality of traffic or your conversion rate. So the quality of traffic is also determined by how long they stay on your website and where they go from your homepage. Do they click on an internal link to another page? Do they go to the About page? Do they go read your testimonials? Those are the big things that are happening on real estate websites. They go to the homepage, they want to see how professional your website looks. Then they go to the About Me page to read about you and look at your accolades, look at your affiliations, read your bio. And then they're going to try and find the testimonials. And that's why we put testimonials also on the homepage as well as a testimonial page. So they're going to go read, see what other people say. Just like you do if someone refers you to, a new hair salon or a new restaurant. You're going to go online, check it out, see what people say, what are their reviews. Quantity of traffic. So that's just volume. So how many people are you sending to the attracting on your website, and are they clicking through from those search engine results? And more traffic is better, but again, you want to make sure that once you get them there, you have a way of engaging them. And organic search results are just those that are not ads or any kind of results that you did not have to pay for. So that's exactly what goes into SEO, and that's what we look for. So there's three main search engines that get the most use and traffic out there, and it's Google, Bing, and Safari right now. Does anyone here have an Android phone? Anyone? Or do y'all have iPhones? Well, no one's speaking up. You're all muted, I see. So I'm not sure. My understanding is an Android actually has Chrome on it rather than Safari like the iPhone does. So SEO is where anyone puts in a query, and whoever the search engine is has indexed and crawled those sites, and then they put forward a search result. So that's exactly what it is. And you want to make sure that you get in that search result. I think this is interesting because what are the factors that really go into the algorithm for a search result? I want you to kind of take note on this. And again, I can send you this so that you have this. You don't have to actually physically take notes. But if you look at the domain level, 20.94%, the biggest part of the pie, is at the domain level. So the quantity of links to the domain, trust, we'll get into trust at another time, trust links, quality of links to the domain level page ranks. So that's all about how the search engine has crawled you and indexed your website. Page level link features. So you've got how does each of your pages also rank according to the different relevance to the different topics that are being searched on. And we all know, because we've looked at Google Keyword Planner, that when we build your websites, we come up with three different, to start with, three different long tail keywords that you want to get found on, or that are the most important to you. And here I'm going to say the word proximity. So we all know that it's proximity located, right? Hence the say realtor near me type term. That's the proximity type of local query. We're going to talk about that more at another time, because there are different indices out there, or citations, listings that you can get on for local queries. And then the third one is page level and content features. So what is the score for that page? What kind of content do you have? What kind of relevance does it have to the query that has been asked? Is it original content? It's going to look for all kinds of things, and we're going to talk about that more as we get down. But I think I want to go with this pie so that you can see, if you go down to the 7% range, there's your social media. And the reason I want to point that out on this pie, I think that's a huge eye opener, maybe for, I hope for a lot of you, is that your social matrix is a very small part of this pie. So if you're putting, let's say 100% of your marketing time, if you're putting 80% of that into Facebook and 20% to the rest of this, what are you really doing to build your SEO? If SEO or social media is only 7% of your ranking factors, and you're putting 80% of your marketing time and dollars into that 7%, you're ignoring the other 93%. That's my soapbox on that. Any questions, guys? All right, so let's go on. And for some reason, it has stuck. Oh, come on. All right, let's try this again. All right. So what is the O in SEO? Optimization just means that we have to optimize everything that we learn and know about the different search engines, so that we can optimize our website, how we utilize our titles and our meta descriptions, our internal and external links, so that every page, every paragraph, everything on our website is optimized to get that ranking in by the search engine, whether it's Google or Bing or Safari. So here's the hierarchy of SEO needs. So at the very bottom, you're going to find Moz, by the way, is a really good website, and they have an SEO class, and it's called SEO 101. And it's free to take. And a lot of this information that you're seeing, I actually brought it over from Moz. I use Moz a lot to see what citations or indices might be out there on each person. When you ask me to do a branding package, I actually go and do the online research and see what I can find out there on you, because sometimes what you have is conflicts, especially for those that have gone from one brokerage to another. You might have a conflict out there that Google isn't able to make sense out of, so it's not sure what all content to contribute to your website or to you as a business, so it doesn't know how to rank you. So if it sees you a bunch of citations over here where you were with Compass or Remax, and now you're over here with EXP or Keller Williams, which one is it? Google may not know, so it may not know how to attribute that content, and which person, the Remax person or the EXP person, to attribute it to. So we use Moz a lot here. Moz a lot. That sounds funny. We use Moz very often, I should say. So it's basically looking for crawl accessibility. They want your website to be crawlable so that search engines can index your content. They want compelling content. Are you answering the bulk of keywords that are relevant to your industry? Um, Keyword optimization. Are you looking, do you have keywords optimized on every single page of your website and in your meta descriptions? Um, in, in when we build the websites, it only gives us an opportunity for 3 keywords. But as you grow your website and grow in ranking, we can change those and optimize you in, spread your location out, say maybe 5-mile radius or something. Is it share worthy? I mean, do you have, are there links and citations that are being, this is where backlinks come in, and especially the blog posts. Are you pushing out your blogs to your Facebook or to your social media, and are you earning those things back? Like, are people clicking on it, reading it? Are they sharing it themselves? And this is where the backlinks can come into importance. And you guys have great opportunity with maybe your favorite lender or your favorite appraiser, or maybe not an appraiser, but inspector, different stager. Are they giving you, are they doing backlinks on their websites to your website? So this is where you start networking and start networking that conversation. It's not an absolute must, but it does help a lot. Just writing or posting your blog post on, say, in a local chat for Diablo magazine or something like that. There's all kinds of things that you can do, and that's why posting these on Google My Business can be one of those share-worthy content sections. Title, URL, and description. CTR is click-through rate. Are we drawing a high click-through rate with what we're putting in as our title and our description, and does the slug have relevance? The description, even if you use the same set of keywords in your meta descriptions, it still has to have some kind of relevance to what is on the page. So if your page is about home improvements, you don't want to be talking about tips for buyers in your meta description, or not put anything concerning home improvements in there. You've got to have some sort of description. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 5 words. It can be a very short sentence, but you want to make sure that we utilize the keywords and stuff in there as well. And then snippets are those that I showed you under the when you do a Bing search or a Google search, the snippet is kind of like the meta description. If you don't put anything in your meta description, Google's going to take like something off that website and put it as an excerpt or a snippet in there. So you want to make sure that whatever you put in your meta description is what you want the search engine to show as the snippet. So the foundation of good SEO, it really begins with, the crawl, accessibility we just talked about, compelling content, keyword optimization, great user experience when they get to your website, share-worthy content, what the title, your slug, and your description do to draw a high click-through rate in your rankings, and then of course your snippets that or meta descriptions that make you stand out in the SERPs. So in that, what that's talking about is that you want to make sure that whatever is in the meta description or the snippet that shows up in a search is going to be compelling to make someone want to click on it. First thing I look for in a snippet is a date, especially if it's a blog post. I want to make sure it's the most recent information, because especially in the work that I do, things go out of style or change so dramatically. It doesn't do me any good to look at something from January of 2020 and know that that's relevant for today. So what does Google look for? Google looks for the number of pages on a website, the number of words per page, and this isn't everything that they look for. This is just a few things that they look for. And this is once we've tied in the Google Search Console and we have your search actually, or your Google Search Console actually linked, then they send in their little spiders and start crawling your website, and they look for the number of pages, they look for the number of words per page, they look and see, is it original content, is it not original, number of external links and internal links, is it mobile responsive or mobile ready, what is the readability, have they actually used titles on paragraphs, do they use numbered or bulleted lists within the paragraphs, what are the fonts that they use, are the fonts easily read, and the size of the font that they use, and then the keywords, the long tail keywords that they've identified as their in the planner, that these are the ones I want to get found for. Can you find one of those on every single page in the website? And then the amount of online properties linked, and that is not real estate properties, that is like your Bing for Business Places listing, your Google My Business listing. Do you have a Google My Map maybe, or a YouTube channel? All of those are considered properties. Do you have a Facebook page, business page? Do you have a LinkedIn page? All of those are considered online properties, and are they all linked together? And then it's just purely the amount of content. And they want to see new content constantly being refreshed. So that is the end of my slideshow. So let's talk about this for a minute, guys. Can you guys turn your mics back on here? I'm having trouble with Zoom, just so you know. It's like wanting to cut me off, and it's not recognizing that I have a paid account. So let's see if we can get in here, and I am going to stop it.